Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce just got engaged, so let's break down these photos. Now, if you've been online anywhere in the past 24 hours, you've definitely seen these photos at least once on your feed, and I thought it would be fun to talk about how these photos were taken. Now, one preface is that I do not know who shot these photos. I don't think anyone does, because they didn't tag the photographer or talk about them at all, so this is just my best guess. Now, with most proposals, a lot is happening in a very short amount of time, so most photographers like to use a standard zoom lens or a telephoto zoom lens as opposed to a prime lens to give them that extra flexibility to zoom in and out as needed. In this case, I think the photographer either used a 16-35 or a 24-70, but either way, staying around the 24 to 35 millimeter focal length. You can definitely see that wider focal length in the very first image, and I believe in the last image for sure, but even in the hugging shot where you have Travis in the front and Taylor in the back, you can tell that it's a bit wider and not as compressed. And the second shot where they're hugging and looking eye to eye to each other. The only shot that looks a little bit more compressed is the close-up of the ring, but even then, it looks actually like 35 millimeters, just shot at a closer distance to the hand, probably at the minimum focus distance, to make the ring look as big and the hands look as big as possible in the frame. So all in all, most of these pictures were shot around the 24 to 35 millimeter focal length. The next most obvious thing that I noticed is that the photographer used direct on-camera flash, for almost every single one of these shots. Like this, and they had it pointed right towards the subject. For me, a dead giveaway when a photographer uses direct flash on close subjects is that these subjects are very well perfectly lit or even a bit bright compared to the darker background. And you can definitely see this in, again, that hugging shot, actually both hugging shots, and definitely that last shot, the only vertical portrait image we see in this set. Now, me personally, if I had a direct flash on my camera, I would definitely be using some sort of dome diffuser or small miniature softbox diffuser on the flash itself so that you don't get any really harsh highlights on the subjects. And the only other thing I noticed was in the first image, there's a bit of a green halo around the edges, almost like a radial blur around the edges of the frame, which kind of helped to draw in your eye to the middle of the frame where the subjects are. Now, this might have been added in post, or it could have been a filter that they had on the lens itself, but either way, it is a nice subtle feature that goes with the color tonality of the image to help draw the viewer into the subject. All in all, I actually like this set of images because most of the time with proposal shots, they're almost very telephoto and very compressed. This was a nice refresh of wider frames compared to the more telephoto stuff that we're used to with proposals. And also for Taylor and Travis being two of the biggest celebrities in the world, I like that these shots were not over the top and overly editorial. They kind of feel a bit homey and casual in a way and not overly produced, which I think was a great play on their part.